Are you spending more time trimming your hair than actually watching it grow? If you feel like every time you pick up the scissors, you're losing more length than you gain, you're not alone. Today, we're exposing the truth behind over-trimming because that precious length might not be the enemy you think it is. Hey, Healthy Hair Masters. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Tamika, your online hair care educator, and if you want to learn how to properly care for and grow your hair, you've come to the right place. In today's video, we're tackling the question, are you cutting too much? When it comes to trims, there's a lot of confusion out there. Some say every 4 weeks, others say once a year. So let's cut through the misinformation and find out the truth about over-trimming. Let's jump right in. So first things first, why do we even trim our hair? Trimming helps remove split ends and prevent breakage from traveling up the hair shaft. This maintenance step helps keep our styles looking fresh and our hair healthier. But here's the kicker. If you have a solid hair care routine, you often don't need to trim as frequently. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you're taking care of your hair properly, keeping it moisturized, avoiding unnecessary damage, you can space out those trims without sacrificing health or length. Now, let's talk about the signs you might be cutting more than necessary. Have you ever felt like your hair never seems to grow past a certain length, no matter how meticulously you care for it? That plateau could be due to over-trimming. One red flag is if you trim just in case. Maybe you see one split end and decide to trim a full inch or follow a strict schedule. A trim every 4 to 6 weeks, regardless of whether or not your hair truly needs it. While routine is good, over-trimming can sabotage your length retention, especially if you're already dealing with slow-growing hair. Another key indicator is if your ends still feel healthy. No dryness, no visible splits, but you're trimming out of habit anyway. Sometimes we let anxiety or fear of breakage push us into cutting off perfectly fine hair. That's why it's so important to learn what true damage looks like and only trim when you actually see the signs. Remember, not every one of the hairs on your head grow at exactly the same rate, so your ends may be a little uneven over time. Just because your hair is a little uneven doesn't mean it's split and needs trimming. There is no need for anyone who is actively growing out their hair to trim every 4 to 6 weeks. This will for sure keep you at the same length. So let's clear something up. Trimming your hair won't make it grow faster at the root. That process is all about what's going on inside your scalp. But a proper trim does help you hold on to the length you gain by preventing split ends from working their way up. The problem comes when we reach for the scissors too often and end up snipping away new growth before it has a chance to shine. If your hair never seems to get past a certain point, it might be time to ask yourself, am I over-trimming? For those of us with textured hair, consistent and gentle care can drastically cut down how often we need to trim. That means deep conditioning regularly, wearing protective styles, and being mindful of heat or chemical treatments, relaxers, color. When you give your strands the attention they deserve, you'll be surprised at how little you actually have to cut. There's no one-size-fits-all rule book. The real key is listening to your hair. As a general guideline, removing about 1/4 to 1/2 inch is usually enough to keep ends healthy. If your ends look and feel good, you can safely space out your trims. Just remember, everyone's hair is different, so pay attention to what your hair is telling you and develop a trimming schedule that fits your routine. So how do we trim less without putting our hair's health at risk? It all comes down to prevention. Here are a few cornerstone practices. Number 1, moisturize and seal. Dryness is the number 1 culprit for split ends. Keep your hair hydrated with a creamy leave-in and seal with a lightweight oil. Number 2, protective styling. Braids, twists, and other low manipulation styles give your ends a break from daily wear and tear. Number 3, gentle detangling. Use a wide tooth comb or your fingers and take it slow. Rough detangling creates tears and splits that lead to more trims. Number 4, manage heat wisely. Excessive heat can fry your ends, causing them to split prematurely. Opt for heat-free styling methods or use lower temperatures with a good heat protectant and only on shampoo and deep conditioning days. Number 5, watch for product buildup. Product residue can weaken your strands over time. Use clarifying treatments when needed so your hair can better absorb the moisture it needs. When you adopt these healthier practices, you're actively reducing the factors that lead to split ends. And guess what? That means you won't need to trim as often. Now, don't get me wrong. Regular trims are still important. The key is trimming just enough to remove damage. If you notice your ends looking frayed, your hair tangling more than usual, or even your styles losing shape quickly, it might be time for a dusting or a trim. Another sign is those teeny splits that you can see along the hair shaft. If you ignore them, they can travel higher, forcing you to cut off more length later. The best strategy, stay in tune with your hair. Examine your ends monthly. If they're smooth and healthy, skip the trim. If you see even small signs of damage, a slight dusting, just removing the damaged tips can save you from a bigger chop down the line. This approach is more personalized than one-size-fits-all advice. So, are you trimming too much? Only you can answer that. But I hope today's video helps you figure out the right balance. Remember, proper hair care goes a long way in reducing the need for frequent trims. When you focus on moisture, gentle handling, and mindful styling, you'll see healthier ends that don't require constant shopping. And if you'd like to dive deeper into hair care practices that boost length retention and overall health, I invite you to join my free monthly hair care classes at www.yphaircoach.com/free class. The link is in the description box below. In these sessions, we'll go step by step through routines and techniques that help you retain length without sacrificing the health of your hair. Thank you so much for watching, Healthy Hair Masters. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and drop a comment about your own trimming habits. I love learning about your experience and sharing tips. Until next time, keep loving and caring for your hair, and remember, less can be more when it comes to those trims. Bye, y'all. God bless. Love you.